Hellos. So back with another Greenhorn Cup game. And this one's a little bit different because someone specifically asked for critique about what they could have done in a game, but I don't want to give too much away. So we've got McLongboy on first DFL against 20th Panzer, which is a by with a melancholic robot. And DFL is on the Vanguard, and we've got the usual partisan rush, which is a massive pain to deal with. They're always going to get in there first, and they've got more going to the back line here. They can be a big problem because some people expect them to unload in these areas here, but they see this guy is going all the way to the back here, and if you need to sort of keep your eyes out, it's sometimes even beneficial to drop a recon guy on a map like this, because this is a prime area. Drop a recon guy in here or in here to pick up any of this nonsense as and when you can. But overall, not terrible. Getting a Shrek up too far. The infantry in DFL is a pain to deal with, and yeah, playing Vanguard into Maverick is a decent enough idea. DFL is really, it's one of those that kind of scales up as the game goes on. I think Maverick is somewhat better, but if you want to just push through with all your infantry, if you play more of an air game, then you go for more of a Maverick, I would say. The reply here is tanks, which is not exactly what is needed. Tanks are not a big issue when it comes to dealing with DFL. Mortars, infantry, laid infantry, vet them up a bit, get some bombers in. So this one was dealt with. These guys have got over the bridge, so he's already got a double tick on. Really solid start. These machine guns are a pain to deal with. So yeah, the advancing into this can be problematic, because as soon as DFL will reinforce into here, I'm assuming this is what's going to happen. As soon as DFL start reinforcing into here with their better CQC infantry, they're just going to mop up, and that's what he's doing right now. So you kind of have to have a focused attack, I would say, against DFL. You can't deal with them piecemeal here and there. They're difficult to deal with, and especially with 20th Panzer, which is not the best division to pick. A solid division, but you need an infantry-driven division. Ironically, I think one of my favourite divisions, Lovas, deals particularly well with first DFL, due to having a couple of Nimrods and the infantry. As long as you stay out of the CQC, the infantry over range will just completely outtrade them. They will mash them up to pieces, and you got your Tran 2s to fire in as well, support fire. So down to a single tick now. So melancholic robot. What's his name? The melancholic robot. Marvin. Yeah, so not doing too bad. Panzer Shreks, you don't really... Is that the same Panzer Shrek at the start? I think that one died though. There's no need to bring another one in. I understand wanting to get revenge by sniping transports, but yeah, there's not much point now. Yeah, Sosstruppen are what you need. Now the Panzer Shrek would help. Light tank up onto here would be the best bet though. The Panzer 3, oh, there's one coming in. And the recon one, which you had somewhere, I think you lost it. Yeah, you have to watch out for the bimps as well. These things, they have bazookas, 250 meter range, so yeah, that's what's happened to this guy here. Huge pain. But one thing for starters, if someone's pushing you hard in one position like here, it's sometimes helpful to maybe, because if you get this back, it's not really helping out. You then have to progress and then move into this area, which is possible at the moment, so it's not a terrible idea to reinforce up here. But otherwise, I would say it's quiet down here, probe in here. you'd hit a bit of a wall with the cannon here and stuff, but this is where you want to go, and these machine guns. It's like really nice defensive position by Melancholic Robot. The center is utterly going to collapse, so it looks like you've just got tunnel vision here. This is the big problem. And if he's quick to spot this and react to this now, he can just get all his units in around here with the bimps, with the bazookas, so reinforcements will have an even harder time coming in. If someone's progressed onto this area here, the first thing you probably want to do is take up a more of a defensive mindset and pop AT gun onto here, maybe some piece of armor on the back here to fire onto this road to stop any fast reinforcements coming in. Mortars into here so that they're out of firing range, and they can then provide some smoke cover for reinforcements coming in and put some fire down onto the infantry as well. But meanwhile, anyway, in the north, looks like just about getting it back here, but the half track is still causing problems. Panzer 3L is going to come up. It looks like this is going to be wiped out, and it's just a case of then you push through here. So yeah, what I was saying before, this is, yeah, there's usually a decent player would usually put something back here just in case all this falls apart, or they'd have an AT gun just here or somewhere a bit further down this road, maybe a light tank here with decent armor penetration. And yeah, you don't want to be abandoning this, so this is the right choice for sure. A mortar in here as well would really help, but it's pushing where you've got the advantage. Trying to advance across this river, but you want your infantry to come in, just like this guy, this DP. I would just move him across the open, see what you can do. It will help spot for your Panzer III as well. And these guys move it, you're just looking to protect the hill now. But there's no harm in having a probe with one infantry unit. We've already spotted this out. If you can get rid of that, you'll see the front line go back even further. But at the moment, yeah, DFL is picking the fights, which is fair enough. He is on the vanguard, and they do have a huge advantage at the start of the game. Still in A phase. Another flag has been sneaked here. Reinforcements coming in a little bit too late into this area. So you've left this, you've not probed, he's just probing everywhere he possibly can now. BF 109, it's not really going to do a hell of a lot. It's going to suppress some of the infantry. And if you're going to use it, you want to use it over here where you're losing the flag. Nice that you've got some return fire only, so he's still hidden, he's giving you vision. That's good news. IG-18 coming in on the hill. That's a nice buy-in. Is it? Yeah, just about in range for these houses here. Grilla as well. Good buy-in, but it's probably want to put him actually on the hill. A mortar, I would say, pretty much needs to come in. Partisan's ass sneaking round. We've got a recon coming in here, so you might be able to spot that out. So 1-star Aufklärung might do the work. Legionnaires look like they're going to wipe out these Panzer Grenadiers. This thing's backing off. I guess you've got eyes on the BIM, but he's 250 meter range, so you're fairly safe there. These Legionnaires will wipe these guys out. BF 109 coming in for the run here now. That makes sense. Again, a Panzer III up here would be nice. And there's one coming. Good, good, good. This is fairly secure. Just need to get these guys maybe into the forest. Pioneer SVT is really good. Probably better put them on the edge, because well, you don't know what's here exactly, but you would assume if it's DFL they've got some really good CQC, so you want to put them out a bit further here so they don't get into TNT range. Even though you've got your own TNT here, you put the Grenadier DP out here so they can do some more work. Getting too tight. I think it's too much armor here. IG-18, nice buying in, because they come in reasonably fast transport, so yeah, it's good. You can probably clear this up fairly well. Unfortunately, the hill is falling to pieces now. The M10's managed to take out your Panzer III. Pack 40 is moving up though, so that should... oh, it already has dealt with that. Yeah, these mortars are another pain. But I don't think he's taking advantage of the radio as it stands. Now we see Bimps move across. The Legionnaire Sappers, not... Sapper Pioneers, they're not moving as well, which is unusual. I guess he's just probing with one unit first. Yeah, this is fair enough, but mortar, still waiting for a mortar. No mortars coming. Stern Pioneer, I don't understand why you want a Stern Pioneer in here, it doesn't make much sense. Unload, 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 unload. Alright, so this should be good. You should gain this back now. Yeah, this is very precarious too, because a lot of time people forget about this road. Is that where these are coming round? Yep. So it's nice to have like an AT gun just back here. Let them come across the bridge even, and then have a fire at them. Try and get them into the light cover. Or if it's a lighter AT weapon, then further up into here. A bazooka around the edge is also nice, and a bazooka in this town here somewhere is also a good idea, or something with AT capabilities at least. We seem to be stabilising fairly well. It's hard to see how well you've traded because he's definitely up on points now, but you should be coming back into the game. Artillery's not a terrible idea. 2 at once might be a bit of overkill, because you're still being ticked down, so you want to get to a 12-12 before you start investing too much there. So this is the flag you're down. Again, mortars would be a quick solution to this in here. Do not underestimate the power of smoke. It's really, really good. This is dangerous if it's going out too far. If you're popping your nose over here, you're asking for trouble, really. Because there's nearly always an AT weapon in this area, or somewhere on this road, or maybe an M10 or something. So at least get some recon out first so you can see what's going on. This Panzer III is going to go down as well. Pushing into the town. So Stern Pioneer, and if you got smoke, use your smoke. It's just running at Legionnaires, you're going to die. There is some success here. The artillery going to be unloaded soon, so that could be a big help. Like I said, the Panzer III's gone down there. Not a shock at all. You're creeping back into the town. Could be enough. There's no further reinforcements coming in. He's bringing an AT weapon all the way around to here. If I was him, I would not be doing this right now. If I know there's some armor in here, I'll probably just get a unit in here, just so I can secure this flag, a BIMP, and in case the tanks come across. That's about it. Or yes, well played by Melancholic Robot. Now the BIMP and the sappers and the commander coming in. The half tracks not being used at the moment. M10's killing off the machine gun quite easily. Again, no, you need an AT in this area, somewhere around here. And you've gained this flag, but now you're going to lose this flag. So this is what I do. It's best to say it's not exactly what you're doing wrong, it's what Longboy's doing right. He has the advantage and he's pressing the advantage. He's attacking here, and he attacked here at the start. He can do that because he can move really, really fast. And he took advantage of this position more than the other one, because this is a bit harder to get to. Rather than this hill, it can be good, but yeah, it's a pain to reinforce. It's quite a long way away. Whereas this This is a bit easier to reinforce, I would say. And then when this has been pushed off, he was already preparing another push over in this area. He's preparing a push in this area as well. He's not bothering over here anymore. He's still bothering in the town though, still keeping me occupied there. Trying to look for the pincer movement possibly. IGAC, the Guerrilla's going to go down. That's going to be a bad loss. Needs to back that the hell out of there. Might be able to kill some infantry. The IG, is that out of range? The heat? No, he's just in range, so he might get a kill. Probably will. They're pretty efficient, these things. What? This is getting stressed. This is the last shot that's likely to hit, I would say. Nope. Now there's a problem here. It's really playing the game well. Buta Stalin, wrong idea. That's not going to work here. Well, if you know DFL, which you should have looked at their division a bit, the penetration on this is 150mm only, that's all. The frontal armor on this is 160. This could literally drive right up to the edge here and just obliterate this, and you can just push right through this entire position. And you would also want to put AA up here first. Whatever you're bringing this thing out, you want AA. As soon as he spots this, I'm expecting to see the AT rocket planes coming out. As soon as he has decent eyes on this, and then he can deal with that. Well, he's in phase B, so he's getting 125 points per tick. It's not too bad. He can afford to buy it in. He's in a strong position. Not even halfway through the game. But it can be really tough to know what to do. Spitfire's coming in now as well. Using his air power. You've had no... I don't think I've seen a single piece of AA come out, which is against first DFL. You need to have something somewhere. Finally stabilized 12-12 now, so this is good. This Panzer III, I would be bringing this around here. Just get it out of line of sight down this road for this very reason. Always bringing it around here, but you usually get AT weapons coming in here, which covers down this entire, well, as you can see, it covers right down the road. So if you have this, I usually just fast move it across the bridge, get it out round the corner there into some relative safety, then get your infantry across into here. Then you've got a foothold. You can attack from this area, of course, with this tank, but in general, that's what I go for. BF-109's being repulsed. There's too much AA out. Flak coming in now, so the Buta Starling should be able to push up here. And you will be able to get a tick on him soon. The artillery is raining down. This, yeah, a lot of people do forget. Like you keep thinking, oh, I've got my IS-2 here, so it's going to fight in this position. Just reposition it up onto the hill here. It will do so much work from up here. It will cut off all the reinforcement roads from here and here. Chance of getting side-shotted by one of these things, not great. The only threat, like I say, is from the air. So that is what you should have done here for sure. Over here, again, I can't emphasize enough, mortars. Maybe you didn't have any in your deck, I'm not sure. These don't have smoke, do they? No. But if you know you're going to be rushed by a division like this and they're going to push you back, you want to smoke these positions and rush back in again. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be successful doing that, because if you rush through here, then it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. But I would probably smoke off like here, and then bring out my armor and get it down into this ditch around here, just so there's less chance of AT getting at it. Then maneuver machine guns up here, get some infantry coming across the way to help, but these infantry will start firing on you at some point. Yeah, but it's very hard to think quickly. That is the problem with this game. But you need to I get flustered quite a lot sometimes, but it's more a case of You just need to give yourself like a minute, like 30 seconds to think, oh yeah, these units are going to die, don't worry about what's dying, just look at the map. So let's just pause the game, because I think everyone knows who's going to win here. Let's just pause the game a minute and look at it from your point of view. Oh, so I'm pausing again. Alright, so from here, the game's not over, there's like 30 minutes left. You've been heavily out-traded, you should probably realise that. But all is not lost. Because he's going to have a better income than you now, but you can still push him back. You just need to get... He's not really... You've done well in the fact that he's only mostly been on a single tick. So if you can get onto... your advantage is still going now as we enter into sea phase. If you can get a single tick going, you've got a Stern Pioneer in here, Flag 41 in here, really nice. Panzerschreck, defensive measure here, but a recon in here would be nice. A recon, it will probably die to the machine guns though. Maybe that's what you did last time. But this, for me, this is sitting here doing absolutely nothing. So 100% move it onto this hill. That is what you want. You can dominate down into this area. You just need to be careful of side shots coming from like M10s, because you get shot from this direction and this direction. One of them's going to get a side shot in at some point. Here, I'll just put an infantry unit into here, just to hold this, and fast move a unit from this place to round about here. Then once it comes in and you remember about it, redirect it and get it to unload around here, preferably something with an AT, in case anything comes past trying to reinforce this area. Here, flamers, you're probably best to just hold exactly as you're doing now. Here as well, mortars if you got them. That is what I would be thinking at this point. But I won't want to be pushing too hard. I'd like to have a piece of armour around here as well, because you never know what's going to come down this road. The IG-18's got it fairly well covered. You've got a Pack 40 in here as well, but a piece of armour here ready for the possible assault here later on will make a lot of sense. And yeah, the artillery, I'll probably want to focus... I don't know if you've got these on defensive fire for this entire area here. Get a pack into here if you can, or get some kind of eyes on here so you can see what's going on. Yeah, once you know these are here, then you can deal with them with artillery, mortars, whatever. The armour can come out, shoot it to pieces. Again, bringing in both tanks like this could get side shotted quite easily there. They should do decent work against them though. It doesn't hurt to use your advantage, pop out here a little bit. Oh, here's the Pack 40. Good. Yeah, so there's no need to... Doing that was a bit risky. There's no need to do it. You just bring out your pack, let that deal with the tanks, then move your tanks across. Infantry moving up to get eyes. Good, makes sense. Also, if you secure this, another thing that people don't think about doing, like a machine gun into here, very helpful. And then if you can pin down this area, infantry into here, another machine gun into here, and just try and walk across to here. Can happen, can help. More artillery fire coming down. Yeah, these artillery pieces are really good, but mortars are just faster, better, more efficient. They do run out of stuff quite quickly, so the pack's not quite done the job there. C-34, like I say, you bring one round here. Shooting it from two directions would help. But yeah, you have to consider you're basically up against superior infantry. With your Panzergrenz, with the double MGs, MG42s or 34s, whatever they have, you want to you just want to be at long range engagements constantly. You don't want him to get too close to you because you can't deal with it. Even at the long range, you're going to struggle a bit. Over 500 meters, you should do okay and hold them off. This guy here is still being wasted. Moving up to here is... There's too much that can hit you from around here. You can get an AT coming out here, hitting you. You get an AT from across here. That is the biggest mistake by far. I'm sure you probably realise that already, just in the moment when I'm thinking about it. But I say, you look at it now, it doesn't look terrible for you. Not by no means terrible. Yeah, if you notice a clump of units, you saw them walking across in here. Redirect your arty onto that, blow it to pieces. Okay, this is a good move. Half tracks will take out these things. You will be able to get across here. And a guerrilla coming out too. You're assuming that there's no AT weaponry now, which is fair enough, but there is, he's just not unloaded it. But yeah, keep going. And if this comes out by itself, then I'll be thinking, yeah, bring in some armour up here as well as soon as possible. Bring some infantry as soon as possible. Yeah, another thing that you don't see too often, I like to try and do it much more when I'm playing games, is fast move, like I said before, fast move some units to here and just leave them as reserves, and then when you need them you can rush them in. You don't always have to unload them. In the half tracks it doesn't matter, you can just reload them, but in the open blitzes, which are faster, that's what you're going to do. Panzer IV coming in here, good move, makes sense. Halfway through the game, and it looks like you're going to tap out soon, and so my major critique would there be, why? You've got a single tick going now. You can pull it back from this position for sure. So it does happen. I do the same thing sometimes. You give up too easily. So many games I've gone back and I've watched a replay and I thought, oh my god, why did I surrender? I actually could have brought that back, but I thought I was so badly being beaten. Yeah, Werframen maybe a little wasteful. Might have done better in here just to... Well, actually, I don't know. I don't really know. Tough to say. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these things. I don't use them much, to be honest. So I'll not say anything there. No more. All right. So you know this is there. The guerrilla is in here. The flak's in here till You've got the tick. What goes wrong here? Is it just the infantry flooding across and Maquisards are going to get to this guy? Once you've taken this out, the Panzer IV is coming in. You need some more reinforcements in here. You're reinforcing where? Yeah, you're reinforcing into here. There's no flag here. No need. Into here would... Okay, fair enough. Into this area I understand. Into here makes no sense. Into the centre, again, I kind of understand, but you've got enough in there already. Here is where you want to reinforce. There's something coming in now. The AT weapon is out the way. The Panzer IV is going to come onto the hill, start dominating the position. 1410. And he surrenders. So what did you do wrong? Not a lot, I would say. I'm a bit confused there. You requested what you did wrong, right? Or I've been looking from the wrong perspective, possibly. Let me just check again. I don't know who was asking for the critique exactly. No, no, no. Alright, twisting the plot. As it turns out, I assumed it was someone else who was asking for the critique. It was actually McLongboy here. And in that respect, well, as you can probably see, like at the start of the game, you seem to have done all right. Not, if anything, not utilizing your airplay, and playing on Vanguard against Maverick. Again, you're going more for the infantry push, and when there's a river there, that can be a bit of a problem. I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, your AT capabilities are not fantastic, so I'm not exactly sure what I can say. You possibly pushed a little bit too hard during B, where it's like you had the ground, just holding on to it as best you can, but you're in a bit of a tough position. Not making massive use of mortars as well, as I was saying, for the other person's perspective. Like they seem to be suffering some losses quite heavily at the start, I thought. Yeah, so right in up through this stage of the game, so first 10 minutes, think you look to be on top of the game quite heavily. Then as we're progressing into B, I think maybe a bit of a push, getting pushed off that hill. It's a problem. Where did it all go wrong? Yeah, M10's too far up. Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit puzzled as to what you did wrong here. Well, there's a huge number of losses. That was that in the town? A lack of artillery? You got howitzers. Were they firing enough? Yeah, I honestly can't say you did an awful amount wrong. And I don't understand why there was a surrender either, from either player. You were being pushed back, but you had the points advantage towards the end, only like 10 points per tick. It's not a great amount. Unless you just completely ran out of armour, which would surprise me. The fact that you didn't bring the booster style onto the hill was hugely to your advantage. So I'd say if there's one position you wanted to gain in that entire game, it would have been the hill at the bottom, where the IS-2 could have got onto and literally finished that game off much earlier. But I by no means think that game was over at all. Let's just go and check it out again fast. Seems though I was critiquing from the wrong point of view, but it seemed fairly okay to me. I just don't understand why the surrender comes out. There was plenty of time for the 20th Panzers to get back in, but he has to get over the rivers. And this position was definitely collapsing, so that was an issue. But yeah, planes. Surely you had the AT rocket planes that could deal with any armor that probes too far over here. Yeah, I will put this under the Greenhorn Cup game, but I'm not inclined to do, you know, big critiques of Greenhorn games, because I don't I think people join the cup for fun and to enjoy it rather than to have their every move picked over. Come on, faster, faster. There's a long time setting up. There's also the old case of like knowing, having a plan and actually sticking to the plan, which can be a big problem. It's either that or not being able to adjust your plan mid-game. I'm pretty bad for that. Often when I usually have a plan and a general game plan for the battle and I stick to it, I generally do alright. But when I just go in and don't think about it, then yeah, things can go very badly wrong. Yeah, maybe it's just a lack of because you were at the start of the game, you were fighting here and here, and like quite intense fight both in the north and the south. How many did you get here? Where's that going? Unusual position. Right, let's just fast forward through it. Yeah, so the setup, everything here is absolutely fine. I'll probably get these across the river a bit quicker if I could. Cause annoyance. This, perfect position, always want those in there. Excellent in here. Yeah, maybe a little bit slow moving these up like I said. Other than that, there's nothing wrong. 80, I'd say it's a little bit too far up maybe. It might even have been a good idea to put it possibly around about here. And this moves up onto the hill. Yeah, maybe not securing this part was a bit of a mistake, because this hill is absolutely key, especially when you've got a 2k range heavy tank on the opponent's side. Losing out here, I feel like that happened because you were microing down here, and whereas you'd already wiped out everything that came in right at the start pretty much, and so you lost a lot of units over here. But more to play, nothing wrong with any of this as is. And really nice move here, I like that. You've got a position here, so you probe into this area. Reinforcing, not reinforcing onto the hill was a small error. But you could just reinforce again here, do the same, right, try the same trick again basically. Get units into here, and that is precisely what you're doing. Cannons picking things off. So if you do actually see this happening, then you can bring in your own armor. Think, I've got rid of his, now I can move up here. Well, he's trying his own sneaks. This was overly ambitious, I would say, because at this point in the game you're at a single tick. You don't need to push in and take another flag. You're heavily into B phase now, so you just want to be holding what you've gained. So reinforcing into this area would have made more sense, into these buildings, and just have these actually in the forest, not showing themselves, just to hold this. Some infantry in here, just relying on machine guns alone is not going to help. And if you know they're getting picked off like this, you want to step them back, keep them out of harm's way if you can. Here, nothing wrong with this. Half tracks in the open, not good though. In here, around this area is the best place to have them, just so they can fire at anything coming through the forest here. But I only saw, was it Spitfire all game, I believe. But they are a bit pricey, but in B phase you can still afford to get something else. Like, you should preemptively be buying some kind of rocket, AT rocket plane, because you know what you've got to deal with. And he's got no AA anywhere, and one of the huge strengths of DFL is you can dominate from the air. Is it the P, what are they called? The P whatever planes, they're much stronger as well. They've got medium resilience. Spitfires are very vulnerable to AA. Fortunately for you, he doesn't have any. One just coming out now. But yeah, really thin on the ground. Reinforcing in here. The position of the cannon, I do like that actually. Not a bad idea. But yeah, usually pop them in here. The artillery is a problem. So you're attacking here. You're reinforcing in here. Fairly this is reasonably secure. The Bimdo should be out a little bit further possibly to get his AT weapons off. Get his bazookas off. Losing this, bit annoying. But you still need some more reinforcements into this area, I feel. But 12-12. Yeah, you're behind. He's not using his boots of Starling though. Another tank's going to go down here, I feel. He does retreat this time, so yeah. It's a tricky one. Yeah, well, you did advance all of these. I think they were asking to be killed. Just advancing one is fine, because if you lose them all, then your entire front line collapses. There's no need to advance everything. There's a half-track holding. You want that to support. I'm still puzzled why a surrender came in, though. This has been heavily reinforced. There's no need to attack. There's no need to attack here at all. You're not going to get this flag anytime soon. Reinforce this flag. Reinforce into this forest, into this. It's not happened at all yet. Yeah, I think major critique is you seem to be fighting in positions which don't quite make much sense. Like having some units in here but pushing them out into the open doesn't make any kind of sense at all. You want to secure this flag. You're not going to get this anytime soon. You're not going to get this anytime soon. You're almost certainly not going to get this anytime soon. So you just shore up your defences here. You should have focused on this area and getting into here. Now you're a flag down here, which is always difficult to hold. And it's going to be a bit of a problem. So AT, some kind of armour around here to mop up. But you got the flag on the hill now as well, which is a big problem. So you can deal with that reasonably well enough. Like reinforce around here, drop some mortars back, shell it, bring in a armour, finish it off. Yeah, Makizard's in here, will do well. And now, again, yeah, it's gone to 14-10 because you've just lost this flag to a single half track. That's all. You've got plenty of stuff in here to come around and deal with that. I don't understand why anyone would surrender from this position. These just need to fall back. These guys are going to clear this one out. You don't have much sight down into the town from here at the moment. There's a Panzer IV coming in, which is going to be problematic. Just need another AT gun back here. But first of all, mortars. Because same for your opponent, the things you can do with mortars and smoke is really important. And yeah, I don't understand the surrender. The points difference is not massive. 600 points this far through the game. You both had a fair amount of stuff on the map. I just felt it's a little bit too early. He could have finished you with the ice 2 on the hill, but he'd not done that yet. So it's basically focus on taking the hill. And I think he still could have won. It was anyone's game at that point. Definitely the advantage with the 20th Panzer for sure. But you just needed... You had mortars at the start. You must have had some more, I'm sure of it. But if you ran out of armour at that point, you ran out of AT as well, and you've not got any more mortars, then yeah, the surrender kind of does make sense. But again, if you're playing Vanguard versus Maverick, it's not like you're playing quick play, it's a bit different, so you need to sort of consider it's going to last 50 minutes. Is it 50-minute time limit? I'm assuming it is for the Greenhorn Cup. I think it is. Anyway, so double critique there. Bye-byes.